Hey guys, Joe here from Northeastern Security. I want to go through with you briefly all the different key machines we have here in the front of our active space. We have a lot of key machines and they all do something a little bit different. So just in short, we're going to go through each one and talk about why we have so many key machines. So starting here, we have a key machine made by Multilock. This cuts high security keys such as this one. This is not so common here in Rhode Island, but there are people that use it, and we have it for those customers that do come in. Moving along, this is another high security key machine. This is for our flagship high security line called Abloy. Here's a key blank by Abloy. Once this key is cut, this is sort of a fun one. It spins around like this as you cut it, and that will allow you to achieve all these nice fun angles on the key. Okay, moving along, this is our newest machine. This one here is mostly for automotive keys, really only for automotive keys. This one will do sort of both your regular high security. Here's like a Mercedes. We got some Honda right here. So this will do all of that stuff, as well as kind of your more standard edge cut type car keys as well. Something more like this. Again, only vehicle keys being cut on this machine. Moving along, this is an older Rytan machine that we have. Sort of a fun machine because it will rotate the head and the tracer to allow you to cut angled keys, such as on a Medico. Here's an example of a Medico key, and if you probably can't see in the picture, but the cuts are at an angle from one another, and this machine will allow you to duplicate in those kinds of situations when you want to cut the key a little bit quicker. Moving along, here's another high security automotive key machine. This is a little bit older machine than this one that we showed you earlier, but it's a real workhorse. Will do the car keys very, very well. This is more specific to these kinds of edge cut or high security type keys, as opposed to more traditional car keys, where that one we have to use. Moving along, we got two Bravos here. These are just standard duplicators, but really top of the line. We do so many keys here. Really pays to have the best equipment, and that's really what you're looking at here. This is sort of a Ferrari of key machines, or key duplicator machines. Moving along, the HPC. We must have about 3 or 4 of these machines. This is sort of the classic locksmith machine. Most guys learn on this machine. This machine allows you to pretty accurately set your space and depth, and you get all these cards that come with them. For instance, this one is to cut a Honda motorcycle from 1976 to 1981. We mostly don't use this machine anymore, but there are those specific circumstances where it really pays to have this machine. Do we need 4 of them? Definitely not, but we have them. Okay, moving along. Now this is a machine that we use specifically for what we call best style keys. You'll see these a lot in schools, apartment buildings, things like this. You can always tell from the head of the key, always says do not duplicate or duplication prohibited, something like that. And it'll have a little letter on the other side. In this case, it's an E. When you run into those keys, you know, you can duplicate it on a regular machine, but you'll run into a problem over time of those keys not really working too good. You gotta jiggle, you gotta play. When we cut them here, we use this machine, which will stamp the key out by code extremely accurately. So if you've gone somewhere else and the key didn't really work, or it worked okay, but not really that great, come over here, we'll decode it, and we'll cut you a factory key. Again, the Bravo is the older Bravo, that's the newer one, but they're basically the same thing. This machine is called an ITL. This is a tool that we use. It really is very similar to this HPC that we talked about just a moment ago, in that it will allow you to manually set the key to be the way that you want it to be. Difference being that while this one is all done manually, this is purely electronic. I've already set in my settings here, but just to give a quick example, I punch in the way I want the key to look, I hit cut, and the machine will cut all by itself and will spit out a very, very accurate key, which you'll see in just a second. Now that the key is cut, let's see if it works. And it does. Okay, moving along. This is a machine, you know, we don't use this so much. This is for a type of key called Tibby. You'll see this on Jaguars, older Jaguars, and you'll see it on certain types of Fords, specifically commercial Fords like the Transit Connect. Again, it's very specific machine for a very specific key. We don't use it very often, but when we do have those calls to use it, it really pays to have a dedicated machine for such a specialized process. And now, lastly, we got these last three machines here. This is a slotter. This is for cutting steel keys. Specifically, we're gonna use this for something like this, for like a safety deposit box. We might use this for older mailboxes. Anytime that you see a key that's got a very, very flat profile to it, chances are it's going to need a key machine like this. We use it's called a slotter. Next we have this guy here. Now this is a very old machine. This machine's probably about I don't know, coming up on 100 years old. It has a duplicator over here. I assume it works. I've never tried it before. Definitely not why we use this machine. The thing that's really cool, really exciting about this machine is that it will allow us to cut bit and barrel keys, antique style keys that, you know, it's going to be hard to find that anywhere else. You're not going to see this machine too often. There are definitely still guys out there who have it. The people who are kind of in the know with this machine know that if you want to be cutting old keys, you really need to have something like this. Yeah, this is a great tool. 100 years later, still works pretty good. And finally, this is a machine that we use to cut ace type or round type keys. This will actually not only cut by code, but will also decode a customer's existing key. So you'll see a lot of my tools here. We try to code cut keys as often as possible, as opposed to duplication. The difference being that a code cut key will just automatically be more accurate than a key that you're duplicating over and over and over again. It's getting worse and worse and worse with each iteration. So that's the way that we do those keys as often as we can. This is, again, you know, I want to really make clear, this is the tools that we use on a day-to-day basis. If we come over here, you know, I got key machines coming out of my ears, basically. I got key machines down over here. We got key machines downstairs. These aren't the only machines that we have. They're not the only ways of doing these keys. These are just the ways that we feel are the most effective. And are going to give you the best key in the end, and try to limit, you know, any possible returns. Hey, my key's not working good, or what have you, you know. So we want customers to come in one time and leave with a key that works as often as we can.